welcome back to TLC Thursdays. It's always so nice to have you guys. I seriously feel like I'm writing in a virtual journal. Just to, obviously a journal where everyone can hear my thoughts, which is kind of scary. I'm actually in Big Sur right now, so for some of you who don't know, we'll put up a map and show you exactly where. The question that I get, and this is something I want to talk to you guys about today, which I guess the subject is about arguments, the relationship arguments, fights. I often get questioned if Andrew and I fight, because everyone always asks, and it's so crazy because I know we do, and I think we do it a lot, and I always get asked by different numbers of different people who are actually around us quite frequently, do you and Andrew fight? And as perfect as I am, not. Yes, we fight and argue a lot. Now, the thing that people don't understand is fighting and arguing being in a good relationship, So everyone thinks that if you fight and argue, you may not be in the right relationship. It may be toxic. Well, as I do agree, there are a lot of toxic relationships where fights and arguments can be very deadly to a relationship. On the other hand, arguing and fighting with another person who has completely different viewpoints of the world and opinions and outlooks and all these different things is completely normal. And so, yes, if you are in a beautiful relationship, but you fear you're not because you argue and have completely different outlooks in the world, rest assured, it is merely the beauty of being in a relationship with a different human being. The thing is, though, and what I really wanted to talk about today was the difference between healthy arguments and healthy fights versus toxic and unhealthy fights. So what I notice in couples is when we have a difference in opinion, you either in the healthy way can argue it out and talk about it and discuss the reasons why you believe a certain way. But there are times where I see relationships where the whole goal is to really hurt the other person. It has nothing to do with the actual conversation or the intent or the what you guys are actually arguing about. The whole point in the other person is to be right. And so I'm going to give you 3 ways to really, really cut down on these toxic fights and arguments and really come into a healthy source of communication. So here we go. Number 1 is leave your ego at the door. Whenever you're coming in to have a conversation with your significant other and it's an argument or something that you're just like, wait, I don't agree with this person, you have got to leave your ego at the door, because the ego is what is going to be the attacker. You're not going into battle. You're not going into war. You are simply talking to somebody that means the world to you. You're talking to the love of your life. You're talking to somebody who doesn't have an intention on hurting you. They just have a completely different opinion. And sometimes what we believe, and I'm completely guilty of that, and actually about 30 minutes ago. But I've trained myself to have really great communication. So Andrew and I have really, the one beautiful thing is we have strong communication and love for each other. And so when we go into arguments, it is just that. It is just battling the actual argument. But what I see is when people are going to have an argument or they're going to communicate with their significant other, their whole intention is to be right. And so they're taking on their ego and they're bringing on their weapons. And egos are weapons, ladies and gentlemen. It is a weapon. If you are not leaving it at the door, you are preparing for battle. And the battle is with the person that means the world to you. And so what I suggest is, number 1, if you are going to be talking about something serious or you're going to be arguing a viewpoint, number 1 is leave your ego at the door. Because if not, it is a sword, it is a weapon, and it will be used towards somebody that you really, really love. And you definitely do not want to hurt or damage anything that is beautiful in your life. So number 1, leave your ego at the door. Number 2, if you are in a relationship where you feel like, okay, well, fine, I don't want to argue, right? I want everything to go smooth. I am not the arguing type. I don't want to voice my opinions. I don't want to, that's even worse. So if you think you are going to save yourself the trouble of arguing with the person that you love because you're not going to say anything, or you're not going to voice your opinions, or you're just not going to, say how you feel, you are setting yourself up, as well as your relationship, for disaster. Because really, all a relationship is are two people who are completely different, minds, spirits, and everything completely different, coming together to just try to love each other, to serve each other. And so you're going to always have different feelings. You're going to always have different opinions. You're going to always have different outlooks of the world. And the whole goal in really sharing life together is to always express that, but expressing it in a way and expressing it in an environment that's open and free for both people. Because if it's not, then both people aren't really going to be living truthfully to themselves. And so you have to create an environment and create a space that's open for both people, so that you can get in arguments, and so that you can really get into what each other wants and their feelings, and really know how to serve each other. Not in arguments where you're destroying. And that's why I say, number one, leave the ego at the door. You're not going into an argument where you're destroying, but you're going into an argument and you're going into a space where you're able to give the other person everything that you want out of your relationship, everything that you feel, your outlooks on the world, and create an environment that's safe for discussion. So if you're thinking that you're trying to rid all arguments just by not stating how you feel, then that's even worse. So speak up is number 2. Number 3 is stop with the drama. Seriously. I mean, I wrote an article about this, but really, I see relationships who think that in order to have passion, it's to bring out that like anger and intensity in a relationship, and to come in and be dramatic so that you can have this incredible whatever, sex, incredible, feeling and incredible passion. But really, all you're doing is being drama kings and queens. That's no joke. And that's not sustainable in a long time relationship. It's sustainable in the moment, and it may be fun to have that passion and that rawr sense of, energy, but it is not sustainable. And so what I see couples doing is they come in and they have their egos blaring, and they want to communicate what they want so strongly in a way that just completely makes this movie scene, and they bring on all the dramatics they can, and it is just embarrassing. It really is. So if you are one of those people, you really need to sit down and ask yourself, what are you trying to fulfill within yourself? What needs are you trying to meet by being super dramatic, by throwing things, by creating this sense of passion? Is it sense of passion? I don't know, but I see these couples coming in so with guns blazing, with all these points of views and all this ego, in hopes to possibly find passion, and that's not the way either. Drama is only for the movies. Drama is not for the relationship. And although I think life is naturally dramatic, you don't need to add any more drama to the equation. I think that you need to go in with the intention of serving the other person. Because that's all a relationship is it's knowing and loving that person so much that you just want to be of service to them. And so in order to do that, you need to listen. You don't go into a hotel, your favorite hotel or hospitality service industry, wherever it is, or your favorite restaurant, your favorite hotel, your favorite place of service, and you don't expect the people who are serving you to be the ones that are talking most. You don't want them to cause drama in your day, right? They're listening to you. You want them to serve you. And so in order to serve you, they're listening to you. They're there for you. They want to pick up on all the things that you feel and what you want, because that's how they're going to get better rankings, and that's how they're going to have you come back. Well, it's the same thing in a relationship. You want to serve that other person. And yes, that doesn't mean listen to them and not say anything. I don't want you guys to go back to number 2 and say, okay, well, you just told us not to, not to not listen, but now you're saying listen. The thing is really take in what that other person wants, and be that other person's source of service. You're the hospitality of your significant other, and see what they want, listen to what their needs are, and see how you both can integrate it in your lives and how you can both be of service to each other. And so when you're arguing, and the whole source of argument, I keep exaggerating arguments and fights. It's not about fighting and punching each other and yelling at each other. It's all about communication. It's about healthy communication. And when you can do these three things, leave your ego at the door, communicate effectively in a way that really services each other, and leave out the dramatics, I think you're going to be all set for such a great communication style that really, really starts to integrate that passion and closeness with each other. You don't need the dramatics to integrate passion. You don't need to pretend you're in a movie. No. All you need to do is be of service and listen and create that calm sense of environment where both people can communicate effectively. And I think when you do that, you got a pretty damn good relationship. However, not to say that we're not human beings and we're always going to be this zen, as zen as Gandhi, and just we're going to allow like the other person the space to do anything. No, we're human beings. But if you can practice this and integrate this in your everyday life, I think that you'll especially with me, I'm teaching this and I'm expressing this to you, but in a way that I'm at fault. Because it's the reason why I know these things is because I'm always committing these crimes. I completely understand where we all come from, and so, but the thing is knowing these practices, and so when I'm about to do it, or when I'm about to feel that anger, or when I'm feeling that ego on my shoulder, I know how to release it. I know how to just leave it at the door and say, okay, I'm here for this person. I'm here for this man, to service him, to show him love, and I know that his intention is to do the same for me. And I think if we can all do that, we'll all have healthy arguments. So all the questions that I get, if Andrew and I fight, yes, we do. But 98% of the time, we love each other, we're super in love, and we have this openness. I think communication will start to kind of get rid of all of the edge, right? The edge to want to fight somebody. But we do, because we're a couple and because we love each other and we have completely different views of the world. So for all of you, having a healthy relationship doesn't mean that you'll never fight. Having a healthy relationship means that you have healthy fights, you have healthy arguments, and you have complete healthy communication. So if you have any questions, like always, comment below. And I am so excited to be here. I'm going to go out there. He's actually out in the woods right now, so I'm going to go join him. But I just wanted to share my quick synopsis on healthy communication, and I hope you guys can join the interaction on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube now for the Ladies Coach. Can't wait to see you all next week. Thank you so much. Mwah. Love you all.